Well, hello everyone. My name is Making Sang, first name Making, and you are watching the FOMO Creator Show. FOMO means the fear of missing out, and in business, it's a good thing. So if you want to know how to sell out your conference, event, digital challenge, your book launch, your product launch, your service launch, you have come to the right place. Now, we are having another recorded session today. So, the fabulous Kate Hendry, who is a brand specialist from Finbo Studio, is going to be talking about building a brand around your business. Now, made a little bit of a boo-boo earlier because when I set up the event, I talked about personal brand, and no, there's a big difference between personal brand and business brand. And so Kate is going to be explaining more. Now, what I need to do is to bring up the file. So let's go ahead and do that. And in the meantime, if any of you are watching on LinkedIn, on Twitter, formerly known as X, or Facebook, then do drop me a comment and say hello. If you are watching from Instagram, I can say hello, but I can't bring up the comments as yet because that hasn't been developed. So we've got the fabulous Joe Nutkins here with us saying hello, and from Instagram we've got Finbo Studio. So Kate is joining us. Best Behaviour Dog Training, and Velo 21. That's my brother, by the way. So let's bring up the video, shall we? Now, I actually played the start of the video again, so you're going to have to watch the introduction again. Start making mistakes. Well, hello everybody. This is Making Sang here, first name Making, and today I am a bit proper excited because we've got the fabulous Kate Hendry from Finbo Studio with us. So let's bring her up to the screen. How are you, Kate? Are you well?
I'm good. Are you?
Yeah, all the better for seeing you.
Yeah.
Now, you are very welcome. Now, I always like to ask my guests who they are. So, who is Kate Hendry? Who is Kate Hendry indeed?
Who am I at all? So, I'm Kate Hendry. I run a business called Finbo Studio, and we offer branding that really makes them stand out. Visual, strategy, everything like that. I'm also a mum and a dog mum. I'm probably a little bit bonkers most of the time, and that's me in a nutshell.
I absolutely love that. Now, I always like to give a level of authenticity to my viewers, because I only bring people on who I absolutely admire, who I've worked with, who are absolutely killing it in their industry. So, I just wanted to share with the readers and listeners how we met. So, Kate, can you tell us how we met? Do you remember?
I couldn't stop seeing you. You were everywhere. So yeah, every time I seem to open up LinkedIn, you were just there creating FOMO, helping other people create FOMO. A connection of mine was just killing it with your advice. Kerry Jordan, the pet photographer, she was going to Crufts, and I think she'd had a session with you, and she was giving me FOMO, and the FOMO then about coming to see you and getting you to help me have some FOMO.
I absolutely love that. Yeah, I mean, Karen Jordan, commercial pet photographer, she was absolutely brilliant. She's already incredible on the socials anyway, but yeah, she decided to invest in herself, decided to take up on my FOMO hour surprise because it's 90 minutes with me. And she used it for her time in Cross and she absolutely killed it. Especially if her lurkers are watching, of which you were one of them. So, yeah, she was definitely doing an amazing job there.
Full on Kerry Jordan super fan, and now May King super fan.
Oh, that's very kind. Now, on my show, we always like to discuss the ABCs of FOMO. And A means authentic authority. So, Kate, can you explain how you show up on the socials? How do you show your authentic self and showcase that you are an authority in the world of personal branding?
Yeah, so, well, a little while back, I actually asked people what they actually wanted to see from me on LinkedIn. So there's a little poll there. I don't know if you can see it, but I was asking, do you want to see more about my life, my personality, what other people are saying? And to be honest, people didn't really care that much. They just wanted to see the work. So, which is fine. And we're all busy people, let's not beat around the bush. So something I do every single Wednesday is showcase something I've either worked on, I'm in the middle of, something that's actually going out there, something visual usually. And then in between a lot of that, I feel like my job needs to be a lot more about education, because branding is such a sort of an intangible concept, and a lot of people don't necessarily know what it is, and they seem to sort of see branding as the same as a logo. So I do try and expand on that and say what branding is and what it isn't and why it's important.
So, can we unpack that a little bit more then? So, you've already mentioned that branding is more than a logo. And what do you mean by what it is and what it isn't? So, can we talk a little bit about what it isn't?
Yeah. So what it isn't is just a logo, a couple of colours, which a lot of people think it is. There's a lot of strategy behind it. There's quite a lot of, a brand essentially is a perception that comes from the people that see what you put out there. So every time you put something out there, and every time you talk to people, every time you put a website out or put an email out or put a social content, literally anything you do that has some sort of reach to your audience is branding. It's all sort of wrapped up in one thing. And the perception from others is also branding. The concept of brand is what they see and what perceptions they have from that. But the beauty of the sort of the process of branding, it lets you define that in the right way. So it's turning all the things are great and amazing about the product or service you sell and flipping it so that the outside can see it, because it's not always easy to portray, a personality behind a brand, a founder personality, a product that's going to a certain audience, etc. So it's all of that rolled into one, and it's not just the visuals. So it's a massively intangible thing. It's like a big cauldron of loads of ingredients, strategy, visuals, values, understanding your customer, blah, 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 all in a giant pot, and then churning it out and saying, here you go.
So, this is what you do. You actually help people to look beyond their logo and the two colours, and also help them with their strategy and how they can change that perception if it needs changing.
Yeah, definitely. And then the visuals as well, because it does go hand in hand. Because if you've
Right.
not got the visuals, you end up a bit haphazard, and I like to call it flip-flopping. So when people post on social media, sometimes, no one in particular that I'm going to mention, but people tend to sort of use different templates. They tend to use different colors, or use different styles of photography. And if you do that, there's no sort of recognition each time. Recognition, is that even a word? Recognition.
Recognition.
Sorry. There you go. I know branding, I don't always know words. But yeah, it's creating that link between everything you put out, so that each touch point, somebody remembers it's you. And then when they finally do need you, they've seen you enough to remember you to buy from you.
Brilliant. And we can quite clearly see from, from your Instagram how consistent you are in your education pieces. And I love how you created that poll in order to touch your audience, and put a feeler out to see what kind of content that they would like to see more of. And then you've really responded to that, which is great. Now, the B of ABCs of FOMO means BTS. No, I don't mean that global K-pop sensation. I mean behind the scenes. So, Kate, tell me, what do we have here? A little bit of behind the scenes from yourself and your lovely dog.
Yeah, she's always behind the scenes with me. She's always there, normally just barking at the window or doing other things. But yeah, she's sort of she's a little bit why I do what I do, because a lot of the people I work with are pet businesses and home businesses. Because I'm quite a homey girl. I like my dogs. I'm a big dog lover. She's called Torvi, which people don't always know. They call her Toffee or Tony or Toby, but Torvi's a really nerdy Viking name because we like big hairy men in our house apparently. So yeah, I do share things about my life, about my son, about my dog quite a lot. People love to see dogs, don't they? I mean, come on, she's cute. And then about the actual branding, I do show a little bit of the process that goes into it. You can see sort of a mood board. That's how I come up with the styles and present that to the client, and then we sort of go from there in terms of the visuals. But there's a whole lot of things that I can't necessarily display that are the strategy side of things. So there's a lot of discovery, a lot of talking, a lot of deep diving into what the business is all about and what they want to do.
Fantastic. So not only are you reaching out to your audience, asking them what kind of content they'd like to see, you're also showcasing in your carousels, your education piece, and showing a bit behind the scenes as well. And there will always be lurkers in your audience, and this is where we come to the C in the ABCs of FOMO, which is where you create content for your lurkers. So Kate, tell me, how do you create content for your lurkers?
So what I tend to do is put out stuff that's valuable for people, whether they're going to come to me or not. I'm really passionate about businesses, smaller businesses in particular, or real challenger brands that want to get in there with the bigger guys. And I try and say to them, this is what you should do, this is what you shouldn't do, regardless of whether they come to me or not, because I'm really passionate about the underdogs getting through, especially if they've got an amazing product, a really amazing story to how they've got where they've got to. And, the people I work with do have an amazing product or service. That's just one thing everyone seems to have in common. And I seem to attract people who are really passionate as well. I don't think there's any point in working with people that don't have the passion, because then they're probably not ready for the growth, So I want the people who are passionate and I want them to succeed. The reason there's a unicorn in a school uniform, just in case anyone's wondering, I do sort of share funny little stories. And my son is 4, and honestly, the things he says sometimes are genius. We were going out shopping, and I said to him, "We're going out shopping for a school uniform." So we were starting school, and in his little mind, which is just magical and amazing, he thought I'd said, "We're going shopping for a school unicorn." So imagine the utter disappointment when we rock up at a uniform shop and there's no unicorns. And I just love that. So I do share, funny stuff, stories that, just make you think. And I'll try and relate it a little bit back to, the human mind and how people make decisions and choices and, mishearing stuff and how things influence you, which is brand's all about influence, isn't it? And my 4-year-old is brilliant. He calls Jaffa cakes happy circles, and I'm constantly atting McVitie's. I'm like, come on, you have to take this on, because he is a marketing genius. Because if that is not a happy circle, I do not know what is.
And what do we have here then? You're creating more content for your lurkers with Small Biz Gone Big.
So this is the exciting thing that I've got on the horizon. I am absolutely So excited. What I'm doing, I'm a big collaborator. So within my agency, I work with 3 other people. I've got a web designer, another graphic designer, and I've got a copywriter. And I recently approached 2 really amazing photographers. One in Cheshire, because I'm a Warrington girl. And I'd spoke to them and they were great. I loved what they were doing. And then a lovely lady who I've got, who's in my network called Kate. She does photography in London. And I thought, you know what they do, they put brand and content together and it makes sense. And I thought, let's do something together because people need it. People really, really need it. You know, I walk down the high street of where I live and I'm looking at signs and things and I'm looking at websites and I think, you know, there's so many things that we could do to be better, especially in the digital world. You know, you get, like you were saying before, it's like seconds to make decisions on things. And putting images out there and visual things are so quick. So we've come up with a visual brand package, and it's like the ultimate visibility package for a small business. It's agency quality, so it's not sort of Canva, pull something out of Canva, stick your name on it, and you're good to go, and a couple of snaps. These are professional photographers. I've been in branding and graphic design for, it must be coming up to 15 years, and I'm showing my age now. Yeah, but all these things put together in a beautiful little professional package really make a difference. The 2 photographers I've picked, I've worked with before on separate occasions. So we've got Enzo Brand Photography, which are in Cheshire. I worked with them recently for a gentleman that makes bespoke joinery. And he goes into people's houses, he makes cabinets, he makes under the stairs storage, he makes things that sit behind secret doors in your house. I mean, it's pretty cool. It's so good. But like, he wasn't sure how to stand out, and he wasn't sure he was getting across, the quality and the fact that you can be completely bespoke and you can do whatever you want. You can literally say, I don't know, I want some crazy magical room behind a magical door with bookshelves built in. And he wasn't necessarily getting across, he just didn't know how to. So we went back, we looked at the, how he was positioning. Did it look cheap? Did it look expensive? Did it make sense? Did people know how to order from him? And, we made absolute magic. We ended up redoing his whole website as well, which wasn't on his agenda at first. But I worked with Enzo Brand Photography, and they had some amazing images. So my job was amazingly easy when I came to do websites because I had fantastic header imagery and it made sense. The whole lot made sense. And the package, it was already in my head at this point. And I also worked with Kira Dare, and she works in London. So we worked together with a very smart lady who's a psychotherapist. She's so clever and she understands people's minds, and she does therapy and she does well-being workshops in corporate settings. And yeah, I worked with Keir, who you can see there. She did some amazing photography, and it's not just headshots as well. It's, more abstract things that you can use in backgrounds and images that are laid out in a certain way that you can put text on them. So it's not just your standard photography. Commercial photography is a bit different. And I just love that, to be honest, it made my life easy. Sounds really selfish. It made my life easy and made the end product look amazing. And why wouldn't you want?
Yeah, why wouldn't you want that? Indeed, and in making it easy for you, then it obviously makes it a lot easier for your client as well. And I remember when I worked for Google, and they did a study, and they talked about how when it comes to branding, we've got 7 seconds to impress somebody when they're looking at you from their desktop. and that's reduced to 4 seconds if they're looking at you from your smartphone. So having a compelling website, if it's redone with these really great images, it makes it easier for the lurker to make a decision there to decide whether they want to continue with that joinery or the other example that you talked about in London. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Now,
definitely.
the next segment of the show is probably best described by this next video. Back to the FOMO.
I love it. Got my era just right.
Brilliant. We all love a bit of Marty McFly. Now, let's go back to this small business gone big then. So let's explain to the watchers and the listeners what this package is all about.
Yeah, so it's basically the ultimate invisibility. That's what we're kind of saying. It's your logo suite. So we never just deliver one logo, and we never just deliver something that's bog standard. It's always unique, which is great because then you can trademark it, because if it's not unique, you probably can't. You get multiple, colorways, styles. We do sort of main wordmark logos, ones with icons, etc. So you will get a full set of those. You will get colors. I think it was on a previous slide I showed a mood board, so we tend to go through that and look at the styling before we visit the photographers, and they've got a mood board to work from. I've gone a little bit backwards, but the photo shoot comes after the mood board. They will come into your wherever you work in Cheshire or London, or if you don't work in those places but can get to a location that will let you shoot in there, then that's cool too. That then all comes back together, and then we look at things like typography, and we basically give you an all-encompassing guide on how to put it together. So if you're a Canva user, you can essentially take that logo, take your colors, and you can create your own amazing stuff, which will be consistent because you have a guide. So it's giving you all the freedom to do it yourself, but it's going to make it so much easier, and you're going to have that consistency. And if your competitors aren't doing that, you've instantly got a leg up. So, absolute no-brainer.
Absolutely no-brainer indeed. Now, where can people find out more about that if they want to get in touch with you about this package?
I'm all over LinkedIn, Instagram, but my main place is probably my website, finbostudio.co.uk. If you scroll down, I've got it in a big block there, and it says, are you a Cheshire business or are you a London business? Click here, and you've got all the information. You can register, or do you know what? If you can't be bothered, just give us a message on Insta, Facebook, LinkedIn, or wherever you find me. Normally Finbo Studio or Finbo_studio on pretty much every social for my sins. Thank you. Brilliant. That's so good. I'll do I feel like I'm on, what's it called? Strictly Come Dancing, where they're like, look, click on here.
So if you want to get in touch with Kate, do not hesitate to contact her on all the socials, or go directly to her website on finbostudio.co.uk. Now, Kate, are there any final words that you want to part when it comes to personal branding?
Yeah, don't neglect it. It's important. Yeah, literally, neglecting your branding is probably it can damage your business. And a lot of people don't necessarily see it as a problem because it's not something they see as damaging, but you could be leaving a whole lot of money on the table. And as a business owner, if it's left on the table, then it's not in your pocket. So it could really make the difference between surviving and thriving.
Absolutely love that. Well, thank you so much again for your time, Kate. I know a lot of people will have learnt a little something about the power of their personal branding today. So don't forget to get in touch with Kate on finbostudio.co.uk.
Thank you.
Wasn't Kate just incredible? And I know that she's actually tagging a few people who were mentioned in the show now on LinkedIn. So it's a little bit meta. But yeah, I wanted to do a little bit of an apology, but for some reason I was obsessed with personal branding, and it's not personal branding at all. I just want to make that clear. Sorry, Kate. Hashtag making mistakes. It's about your business brand and giving your business the personality, as opposed to personal branding, which is about the person who is behind the business. So, she talks about her package and, having your own unique typeset. So it goes beyond the logo, having a bunch of fantastic photographs, depending on whether you are in the Cheshire area or in the London area as well. So a true collaboration with some incredible business folks to give you the best branding package that you can in order for a small business to go big. I mean, that's pretty cool, right? Now, just whilst we have Kate here, if any of you do have any questions, I would love to hear from you. Pop them into the comments, and I'll bring them up. And I know that Kate will be on hand to answer them. But in the meantime, the next section of my show is FOMO promo, which is a FOMO shout out. Now, some of you very kindly joined in live today, which is great. It's so wonderful. I hope you learned a lot. And I'd like to give you a little bit of a FOMO promo as well. So if you are on LinkedIn or Twitter, formerly known as, X, formerly known as Twitter, or Facebook, then do put in a little sentence about who you are so that I can pop it up onto the screen and show the world about your business as well. So I want to give you all a little bit of a plug. Now, the Instagrammers at the moment, unfortunately, we can't give you put your comments onto the screen, but I do know a few of you here today. So we've got best behavior dog training. So I just wanted to acknowledge them. Velo_21 is my fabulous brother who sells cycling equipment. So, if you need to tinker with the tubes or spokes or anything like that, then he's got some equipment to go behind that. I'm not a cyclist, so I'll probably completely the bits and pieces with his business there. We've got marketing_RMC as well, and Divine T_UK. Divine T_UK has fabulous tea, funnily enough. It's turmeric and a whole host of spices. And we all know that you're probably aware of the health benefits behind turmeric. Poochie Care 8 has joined us as well on Instagram, and she's just saying hello to myself and Kate. So it's lovely to see you. And Poochie Care is fabulous lady, Alison, who home boards your pets. But your pets will not be in amongst a whole bunch of other pets. There'll be Alison will be dedicating her home care, her home to your pets and your pets only, which is absolutely incredible, and that is her unique USP. And we've also got Nikki, pranic therapist as well. Now, I only met her today. I actually went to sunny Stockport to deliver a talk on the power of FOMO and how you can use it. And so Nikki joined us today, which was great. So Nikki, pranic therapist, and if you want to know what pranic therapy is all about, then you need to go and follow Nikki. So have we got any other comments here? Anyone on LinkedIn want a little bit of a plug, a little bit of a publicity for their business? We've got Joan Nutkins, who delivers dog training. Kelly Robinson, she has a whole host of dog treats, which are very unique, very, very unique. And we've got Kerry Whitney. He says, "Me, she's here." Kerry Whitney is from Frankie's Boutique, and she has incredible bow ties for dogs and cats as well. Some of them are unique as well, a little bit sweary, but she has also got some incredible non-sweary ones at a can't remember the pet store now. Oh, my perimenopausal brain. But it's in one of the major pet stores at the moment. So do go and check out Frankie's Boutique on Instagram. She does some incredible stuff there. So that's it with everybody. We've got Joe, who's just expanding on what I've just mentioned. So she has a dog training and dog fitness company and just finished a week's canine fitness challenge. And she loves running, which is great. She also had a mention of, she also says, well done on describing Kelly's dog treats. You have to see them to believe them. They are absolutely incredible. And it makes the owners chuckle. So that's the fabulous Kelly there. Now, as well as everybody who has joined us, it's so lovely to see you all. I want to give myself a little bit of a FOMO promo, of course. And for those of you who haven't partaken, invested in yourself in the FOMO Hour surprise because it's 90 minutes, not 60 minutes with me. For SBS winners, all of you out there, the FOMO Hour surprise is normally £175, but it's reduced to 100. And for those of you who are not SBS winners, you need to go and find out what SBS is all about. Small Business Sunday. If you want a bit of free publicity for your business, a lot of support from a great community, go and find out about Small Business Sunday from Theo Pathetis from Dragon's Den fame, rather. And if you enter a competition, you could be in the chance of winning the competition and being part of the amazing community. And some of the people here today that have been mentioned have invested in themselves, and they've gotten taken part in the investing themselves with the FOMO Hour surprise. So the fabulous Katie, who we've been talking to today. We've had Alison from Poochie 8. She also had a FOMO Hour surprise with me as well. And also Kerry from Fair and Fables, the commercial pet photographer. There's a whole bunch of other businesses as well, and not just product-based businesses, but service-based businesses as well that have partaken in that. So if you want to know more about the FOMO Hour surprise because it's 90 minutes, slide into my DMs and let's talk FOMO. Now, I don't think we have any questions here at all. We've got Divine T was just acknowledging my shout out, just saying thank you. And British House has joined as well. British Craft House from Instagram was one of the incredible speakers at the Small Business Sunday conference that some of us went to earlier in February, and what an inspiration she was. So it's so lovely to see her join us today. Anyway, it's I think that's pretty much it, really. So I hope you enjoyed this broadcast. Do go and connect with Kate Hendry if you want to know more about business branding, if you want to partake in her amazing brand package at the moment and connect with the have a set of amazing photographs as well as the whole brand package as well. And in the meantime, if I don't see you, she says, go to find the end credit button. Where are we? There we are. And if we don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.